Love the fashion, love the music, love the sports, hate the people.
Hate the people.
How we work. That's how we roll. It's really sad. Really sad. There would be no such thing as cultural appropriation in the United States if we loved the people. They'd be more than happy to share everything. It's because when they do it, it's considered lower status. When white people do it, it's considered cool, which it's disgusting.
Just another point that it's not just women, right? It's men too. If you look at certain men, especially in the music industry, once they first come into a certain, not now, but before, they were coming looking like a certain, caricature. As soon as they made enough money, they would let their hair grow. For instance, Jay-Z.
You think they play the role? They play
Yeah,
the role
they play the
until
role
they were rich
till
enough
they
to say, "You're not going to make me go because of my hair." Like,
right.
wow.
Right. So
I get it.
Jay-Z, if you look at Jay-Z's hair from the beginning of his career to the end, if you look at J. Cole, if you look at Kendrick Lamar, they started off. I don't know about Justin Bieber. I don't know.
She being
I'm minding my black business about what's white Justin Bieber, because he's a culture vulture too, and he went and gathered his people after he made enough money off of black people.
Isn't he a white
so
dude?
did Miley Cyrus, so whatever.
Justin Bieber's a white dude, right?
He is.
Oh.
Oh, she said no. Donna would say they want the rhythm but not the blues. She was talking about Justin Bieber.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were talking about hair. I was like, if he's a white dude,
he's trash. He's trash too. Because the thing about it, he made all that money off of sounding black, right? Justin Timberlake had that curly hair in the beginning. Remember that? I don't know if you remember when he was with, I forget what the name of that group, NSYNC or something like that. Sound like a black dude, all kinds of stuff like that. Soon as that blackness wore off, he went back to them white folks. Yeah. They'll pretend to be black for a little while, make their money, and as soon as they make their money, they out.
You mean because it gets them like to the fame level that they need, and then they do what they want.
Right. I forget Post Malone. He did it. Post Malone, when he first came out, I know you don't know Post Malone, but
I don't know any of these people.
I know, but Post Malone, he made his money rapping, and it was like, oh my God, he's rapping stuff black people been doing since whenever. But because he's white, he's amazing. As soon as he made his money, he went right on back to singing whatever white music he was singing before.
Interesting.
I don't know if you've seen the dude Milo Yiannopoulos. He's racist. He's on a political sphere. He married a black man. As soon as he needed some money, you know what happened? He said, "Oh, I'm reformed now. I'm not gay anymore," and told his black mate that his black mate is now a roommate now.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That's what happens a lot of times, that they pretend so much, and then once they get the money, they go back and gather their people. She said Adele is another one.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about this, so I can't I really have I can't really comment.
No, it's okay. What they're talking about is
interesting.
White people that sound okay. Prime example is a video of Ray Charles. I think this is like during the 80s, maybe the early 90s. And Ray Charles says Elvis wasn't doing anything that black people weren't doing. And we know Elvis
I know that.
Ultimate culture vulture, stole music. He said that they just wanted to hear from a white man.
I guess I'm going to lose at least about a third of my fans right now. But to say that Elvis was so great and so outstanding, like they say, he's the king. I got in trouble because one guy asked me this question, and I said the king of what, and he got mad at me. You see, I don't think of Elvis like that because I know too many artists that are far greater than Elvis. I think Elvis was person came along at the right time, for here was a white kid that could do rock and roll or rhythm and blues or whatever name you want to call it, and the girls could swoon over him. Nat Cole got in trouble in Alabama when the women swooned over him. Got put out of town. And black people have been going out shaking their behind for centuries. And what the hell's unusual about them shaking their hips and stuff? And that's all Elvis was doing, was copying that. And he was doing our kind of music. He was doing the Willie Mae Thornton, jailhouse rock. That's black music. So what the hell am I supposed to get so excited about, man? But I think all this stuff about saying he's the king and he's the... it's a piece of bunk. Sorry. Next question. Don't ask me no more about Elvis, because I've gotten enough trouble as it is.
I think you covered it, though. I don't think a follow-up is necessary.
Okay.
I did my interview on Billy Sheldon. Billy Sheldon, who was one of the first, he was a spaniel, and he was one of the very first people. When I did a 3-part interview on him, he said the same thing about Elvis. He said Elvis fit the role, and that's why they picked him. And it was basically cultural appropriation at its most disgusting.
But see, back in those days, just like if you watch Cadillac records and a lot of these things, the artists didn't even get to sing their own songs. And a Hairspray,
right.
Well, that's what Hairspray about that. And they didn't get the writing, their money, nothing.
Well, a group of white women took their song and made millions and millions off of it. Billy Sheldon, and when they sang it, you know, they did, and that's why I interviewed him, because I wanted to know the history of, you know, the whole history, and he was able to give me an incredible 3 interviews, telling me everything, all the people he knew. Oh my goodness, and how he never made a cent off of this famous, and the women did, the white women.
The broadcasting industry would not let a black artist come there with a record, and they would not play a black record unless it was covered. It was done by a white group. A good example is our record, Good Night, Sweetheart, Good Night. We recorded that in 1954. I think it was in March. And it got pretty high on the charts, you know. But it really went into the millions when the McGuire sisters sang it, because that was the thing, that the parents wouldn't let their children listen to black radio stations, and they wouldn't play black music on the white radio stations. The McGuire sisters got our song, and when they sang it, it sold millions, you know.
So did they get rich? I mean, from your song?
They got rich off of our song, you know, and we recorded it before they did. I almost lost my life later on because the McGuire sisters were the hot girl group during the 50s that time, you know.
They're white girls?
Sugar in the morning, Sugar in the evening, Be My Little Sugar, Love Me All the Time. And when they recorded our song, it took off, you know, because they played that on all the big white radio stations. The big white stations would not play black music on their stations because their parents didn't allow the kids to listen to music on the black radio stations, because they told them it was jungle music, you know.
Jungle music?
And jungle music. The white parents of these kids did not want their daughters to hear a black group and get enamored over them, just like they were doing Elvis Presley and all of that, you know.
Uh-huh.
And kids don't know any different. When if they hear something that they like, they're gonna come out and follow the group around
Oh,
and
yeah,
want
of
to meet
course.
the group.
Right, they want to be
And
groupies. Right, groupies.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
And nothing has changed. You have white artists. I mean, you know what's changed now? All it did now was go across seas, because BTS is nothing but Asian people in blackface. That's all that is. K-pop. What are you talking about? K-pop is black. Literally, I'm telling you, is
I don't know
black.
anything about.
Right? No. It's a
It's a
group
Korean
called
thing, right? K-pop's Korean.
right, K-pop. Black Pink was nothing but black music, black girl music from the 90s. They remixed it, and now I'm pretty sure, I forget what year it was, but it was about a year or two ago. I don't have a problem with Korean folk, but I'm telling you what K-pop is.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Wow.
They're
I got a lot
stolen
to
music.
learn. I got a lot to learn.
Stolen music from black people.
Wow.
Exactly, like imitation crab meat. Exactly. And so the fact that I'm at K-pop, BTS literally stole a song from the 90s and repackaged it, then tried to make the artist, gaslighted the artist about, oh, we didn't steal your song. Are you crazy?
I have a lot to learn about this.
Yeah, I'll show. Oh, we'll talk.
Is that on your mind, cultural appropriation, while you're creating, while you're
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up with your look, while you're sharing
Oh
your
my
story
God.
with the world?
Of course, because I believe it's a responsibility, and I also feel like if you're gonna have that big of a platform, you need to be able to respect and appreciate all cultures without appropriating them. And so I feel like whenever it comes to, you know, our styling or like, you know, our music or whatever, it's always a sensitive and topic that we always have to think once, 3 times, 4 times about, like, in every step of the way, like visually or like musically or like, you know, the language itself. Like obviously there's like AAVE and like a whole bunch of other like cultural stuff that's like, you know, is very sensitive, and so we need to respect that, and I feel like it's a responsibility too. So I feel like definitely it's something that we're always thinking about and taking action about.
Oh my goodness.
We'll definitely talk offline. But if you listen to a lot of, just like a lot of artists, like Puff Daddy, I know you don't know, Puff Daddy will sample older music, repackage it, and then be like, oh yeah, this is, you know, whatever the case may be. And older people were like, first of all, that's not a new song.